don't get hurt. I don't believe in any side or anything like that, in my opinion. So
My conspiracy theorist wrote us.
I know.
Wrote it. Yeah, you
I
know.
like talking what I believe in.
You know what I heard about guys that sell t-shirts?
Hey.
Also sell their bodies.
Am I good to go?
They're also right about everything.
All right.
Alright, so we're just going to jump into it. Fuck it.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Inebri-art. This is Andy of the Inebri-art podcast, and for once, I'm on location recording at Soundcheck Studios. If you are in Massachusetts and you have a chance, go to Soundcheck and catch a show, because it's a fucking amazing venue that's kind of birthed out of COVID. It's upgraded so much. It's great. I saw Dumpster Funk here maybe 2 months ago.
February.
February?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Time flies.
And when I saw Dumpster Funk, the opener was Crooked Coast. And welcome to the show, guys.
Hey. What's up? Thanks for having us.
All right. Ben,
Yes.
John,
Yep.
Shaq.
Yeah. Think about the.
And Luke. Yeah, that's what exactly. Yeah. And Luke, right?
Yep. That's right.
So welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us,
Thank you.
brother.
Thanks for coming on. We've been working on this for a while.
Yes.
We stopped at the craft beer cellar and we were talking, trying to get you in.
Yep.
And we were trying, because you've been super fucking busy. Like you
Yeah.
had was it an EP or single or?
We've been releasing singles, but each time we do it, it contains the previously released singles, so it's sort of like a waterfall release.
Yeah.
So the last single we dropped had 6 songs on the EP that it came out with. Working towards an album that'll come out August 6th.
Yeah, and then like last month you guys were at Boston Calling.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, how did that come about? Like,
Yeah, that's kind of a wild one. Like, you mind if I
Go
talk
for
about
it.
it? So, I was scrolling through the Instagram, and I saw that Boston Calling, because I was following them on Instagram, had posted like, "Who do you guys want to see?" And so we just basically said, "All right, this is a great time to like go on Instagram, get all of our friends on there, and request Crooked Coast." And one thing led to another. We kind of linked up with the crew there, and yeah, eventually it happened.
We played their block party that summer before, and they were like, "Yeah, you guys, your people blew the Instagram up." It was like you guys and Red Hot Chili Peppers were the most requested, and I was like, "Yeah, Chili Peppers they don't really draw. Like you should probably just book us." Like, yeah, and it was cool. They were all there at the block party. They were like, it was almost like undercover boss because they didn't say they were the organizers, but they were serving, running the beer tent and stuff, and we got to meet them all, and they were cool. And then at the end, they were like, "Well, we're the organizers," and we just stayed on them. Like, you put us on the festival. Like, we just stayed on them. Every time we had new music come out, we'd send it to them early and just kept in touch. And when they said, "We want you guys," it was like, we were through the roof.
That's cool. And you guys are from the Cape, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Israel originally, but yeah.
Based in the Cape.
That's off Cape, I think.
I think it's a little off.
Was that off Cape?
Yeah,
I don't know. Once you go over the bridge, it's all.
it's kind of an island. Yeah.
We basically all kind of grew up together.
Yeah.
Shaq lives in Falmouth now with us, so
Yeah.
yes. He actually lives in my basement.
Yeah.
I kind of did for like
Against his will.
It's had like a weird like Pulp Fiction vibe.
Yeah, I have a chain that I have to, there's a chain in there, and you can see the scuff marks. But, he gets bathroom privileges twice a day, so.
Oh.
So like, how did the band form? Was it like just from high school friends, or like?
Kind of
what's the
all
backstory?
formed in different like pieces. Like Ben and John been playing together since middle school or thereabouts. Then we all started playing together about almost 10 years ago. And then 3-4 years ago, Shaq joined in, and that was sort of like another. It was like the next level of the band. So, we felt like we kind of hit a refresh a few years ago and just started really going for it. Deciding, let's do it. Let's put it all in and go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And how would you classify your music? Like I remember, I think this theater. I don't remember where I saw it. It was kind of like sort of reggae, sort of ska. So like what do you like? What do you fall into?
It's a bit of a blend.
Is that, well, let me reframe that. Is that even a valid question anymore? Like nowadays?
No,
Back in my day,
I think people do. I think people do like having a reference for what they're going to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's fair.
I would try to say just like alternative or alternative rock or because
It's like the umbrella.
so many different influences and
Yeah, it's like we could tell you, but I'd rather you tell me. Like, what do you hear out of it,
yeah. What do you think we sound like?
Yeah.
I love how you flip that interview around. We're interviewing you now.
Oh, he hasn't listened to us at all.
No.
Busted.
I'll be fair. I only heard you guys that one night, and I was like, I'm impressed. But I definitely felt it was kind of. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound insulting, but I don't mean it to.
Okay.
It is suburban white guy reggae.
Okay.
It's kind of like maybe like elevators, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we know those guys are great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people take that as an insult.
No.
Oh,
I don't know. We're very into it.
I think in the early days, Sublime was a huge influence.
Sure. Yeah, I think like one thing I'll say too is, my musical background is definitely more on the rock forward type of
then the drag
music.
Stage and stuff.
So, but it's I know for me, like when we started writing together, the four of us, and kind of finagling the music, I think what ended up happening was we still retained a lot of that reggae-esque influence, but ultimately it's just like in-your-face rock, and it has a sprinkle of reggae, a sprinkle of hip-hop.
I mean, Ben and I, our old band, we were like an indie rock band. So we didn't really play reggae at all.
Yeah.
Until we kind of fused with Luke. And then, not like I wasn't a fan of reggae.
Yeah.
But, and then we kind of, I grew up on like Green Day and Blink-182 and that stuff, so that's all kind of there.
So when you guys write music, like, how does that work? Does like one guy bring in like a riff or chord progression or some lyrics? Like
Every song seems to be different.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it happens, or sometimes Luke or John will have something kind of fleshed out all the way a little bit. And
sometimes I'll just come in, I'll have a chorus.
Yeah.
Because Luke and I will split the lead on a song a lot, so I'll have a chorus, no verse, and then Luke will come up with a verse, or
vice versa. Yeah, it's all
lately it's been like kind of improv. I feel like.
Yeah, it's nice to sometimes just get in a room and we shit out a song in like 15 minutes.
Actually, one of the last tracks that we started working on was basically that. It was just us jamming out, and within maybe 30 minutes, we had like a whole track that we just really dug. So
yeah, I think there's really.
New tagline for you. Crooked Supposed we shit out music.
Yeah, that's a good ring to it. 4 suburban white guys shitting out reggae.
Love it.
I think there's
pause.
Yeah, there's
that's gonna be in the fucking show.
There's really not much of a rhyme or reason other than that we always try to like make it a point to work on like the writing, whether it's however we're gonna do it. Like, I think the important thing when any like creating or building is just that you actually do it, and then the methods and everything will sort themselves out, But we always just block off a significant amount of time to be like, let's work on new music. And sometimes you don't get much, sometimes it comes out fast, but we're always working on it in one way or another. We just are like, let's put the time in, and the songs will reveal themselves.
Point, like, we've talked to tons of creative people about stuff. It's like when it turns that corner from being fun to work.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever get into that point where you're like, okay, we're working on songs today, and you're just like, let's talk about conspiracy theories.
I don't know. Distractions happen, but like, I don't know. I feel like we've been doing this for so long that, I think for me the writing is the fun part, and like
the studio
is the fun part. The work is when we have to get up at fucking 8 a.m. and like to get to the show, and then we won't be back till 4 a.m.
Which, by the way, is still very fun.
It's still fun, but that's like a day like that. The best part is being on stage, and then the logistics are fucking nightmares sometimes.
Yeah, one thing I'll say for sure on that note about the writing and stuff, like, for us, it's that is in large part the main outlet, right? Like, as musicians, as creative people, like, that's everything that's contained within our minds, our hearts, whatever. Like, that is the output. So for us, it's, as much as it is work, it's also like a release in a way. So we're just happy to do it.
That's why we do what we do.
And when it's hard, you just have to remember it won't always be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you gotta like trust your friends and feel good enough to like, if something's not quite working, you don't have to get too self-conscious about it. It's just like, you know what? Let's set it down, try something else, come back to it. We all have enough faith in each other. I think that even if things become challenging in the writing realm, we can kind of not take it too seriously. Move on to something else,
Well, where you guys have been together so long, especially Ben and John, like, is it more of you guys have very shorthand of way of communicating, or is there more like, oh, this is just like 10 years ago when you picked on my chord Right, like, is it better or worse than like worked together for so long? Like,
I think it does work because we wouldn't do it if it didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like that, whatever that issue is, hadn't really come up to the point where it's like, well, I can't do this anymore. So I don't know. I guess we never hit that threshold.
And once, for me personally, like I've been with Crooked Coast. It's like it's approaching year 4 at some point, which is kind of crazy. But for me, it's like I think what ended up happening was we all figured out like how to sync up on most of this stuff. Like, so a lot of it is not even a verbal thing. It's just like, Ben does something and I just know where to go, or we triangulate a lot. So like a lot of threes.
There's a lot of talking and stuff, but there's. I know, like when we wrote this last song, I remember like we were all trying to talk because we were so excited about different ideas of like how to make the song better. Yeah. But there is definitely like a non-verbal communication that's happening while we're just trying to rehearse, because we're not like a jammy band. We don't jam. Yeah. But when we're writing, we can like kind of jam through an idea and make it the best it can be. Because at the end of the day, we want to try to write pop songs. Yeah. Like popular songs. And,
right, sure.
And so I think we're all trying to reach that same goal. So.
Yeah. Do you guys feel that the music industry can have that kind of, like 182 or Sublime band? And like, will anybody reach that level anymore where it's so dispersed now amongst, Twitch and YouTube and Spotify, and it's like not one central.
I think it happened with Machine Gun Kelly all of a sudden,
I still never heard any of his music.
He's not a band though.
But it's I mean, for me, I think look, if you ask me this like 4 or 5 years ago, I'd have a very like pessimistic answer. But
if you married a Kardashian.
So what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying.
No, but I do think it's interesting because in the last few years there's been a massive resurgence of the 80s and 90s. Like you listen to the radio and it's all like these fat drum beats from the 80s, like these glistening arpeggiators and synths and stuff. So that type of vibe is coming back. And I mean, Running Up That Hill is now like this huge
what happened there?
Song.
What was that about?
Stranger Things. It's like the theme song for the Stranger Things. Kate Bush.
If I have to hear Highway to the Danger Zone one more time.
Oh, Top Gun.
Crash my car.
Was the question like, will there be bands that are so sort of ubiquitous in the culture,
like rock star?
I think it's gonna be talent.
I think we're misremembering the past.
I think that's better.
I don't think there really was a ubiquitous one though, because even back then that was amidst like you mentioned Blink-182, but that was still amongst the boy bands, the Christina Aguilera, the Britney Spears.
It's more.
It's a bad example because
Eminem was big.
What you're saying, like I think when we look at those ages, those bands that have longevity stick in our minds. Blink-182 has had a 25-year career, so now Green Day, so they seem like they're ubiquitous, but
they're not. They weren't.
Yeah, they weren't that. So Metallica, of course,
it's really interesting that you brought that point. It's like I used to listen to Metallica in junior high, and no one else did.
Yeah.
And like Slayer now, like I see everybody with Slayer shirts, and I'm like, you fuckers didn't listen to Slayer.
They didn't.
They probably still don't. Yeah.
No, but I think, and where I was kind of going with it before was just like a lot of this music, like first of all, just the style is coming back, but I think where that's going is just this idea that like people don't want the same generic overproduced, overwritten stuff, and I think that's where like the comeback of the band starts to come in. I think there will be a resurgence of bands and a resurgence of like more large growth type of stuff, and you see like a lot of this niche music that's getting popular, and I think that's a big part of that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love that basically it's not even music in anything, like it's all about like the niche. You can have a great career with
super obscure music. Or even
was this a bad place to record this podcast?
What's up? You know what's really funny is I recorded with Gangster Grass at I think it was in Austin. It's not there anymore. Thunder Road.
Oh, yeah.
And the band before them came on for soundcheck. It was 3 times as loud as I could hear the guy sitting next to me.
Actually, Charlie, that
The microphone's picked up perfect.
yeah,
Oh, really?
Charlie, that on Thunder Road he's here. He's with this
shit,
place. Yeah.
That's a great club, man.
Yeah. So he's a big part of this
Played
place.
there a couple times, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't remember now.
Yeah. So what's your favorite venue to play other than soundcheck?
Yeah, we do love Soundcheck.
That's hard.
In Massachusetts in general.
Or like, where's the one place that you want?
One of my favorite places.
Wherever the best crowd
personally,
is.
Ocean Mist, which we do a good amount of times. It's in
Ocean
Rhode
Mist is
Island.
awesome, yeah.
Just because it's in Rhode Island, Wakefield,
Yeah.
Rhode Island.
It's
I just
right
like
up.
it because the stage is great, the crew is great, and it's a good sized room. Like, it's always a fun time. Even if you're not slammed wall to wall, it's just the way that it's spaced out. It's always a fun show,
Yeah.
and people come out. People come out for us there.
I think
So
when you played the Sinclair, that was pretty awesome. That's a great room.
yeah, Sinclair's great.
My new favorite place to see shows is
Roadrunner.
Harbor Lights.
Okay. Where's that?
Well, it used to be Harbor Lights. I don't know what it's called now.
Oh.
Teeny Bang.
Oh,
They changed it.
yeah.
It's literally right on the water.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw Jane's Addiction.
The Pavilion in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Jane's Addiction there like 2 summers
Yeah.
ago. I saw it. It was like,
I saw
it's a
Revolution.
beautiful day.
Yeah, actually, a great thing about it. So, if you like Jane's Addiction, I run sound as well, and I work at City Winery
Yeah.
at mixing, and I was working with Perry Farrell there
Oh,
a few
shit.
years back, which was insane. Dude is still ripping. Holy smokes!
Everything you said was a lie.
Huh? I didn't hear what you said, but
Byron. No, it's well. So if you guys could go on tour with someone,
Yeah.
who would it be?
Shit, man.
Damn.
It's kind of hard because, you know, as you kind of said, like, our genre is so weird, can kind of be put on so many bills.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of pinpoint. I mean,
But if you're from a person, not just like is there like one band that you like? Oh shit.
I'm a big Strokes fan. I love the Strokes.
Okay.
So I mean, I love
Yeah.
that's kind of a dream.
Yeah.
And that's a reach school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how the crowd necessarily responded. Probably well, but I'd love to tour with Rancid. That's like one of my favorite bands. Like that'd just be.
That'd
I
be
love
fun.
the band. I've seen them live a bunch of times. I think that would just be so fucking fun.
What's
What's up, dude?
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing that's so interesting now is I've seen so many like really interesting bands, like not compilations,
combinations
combinations.
of touring. Yeah.
Our Flogging Molly with Gogo Bordello and
shit.
Mariachi Band.
Wow, that's kind of
They're
lit.
killed, man. Like they're
Yeah.
so great.
Damn.
Yeah, it's that's the thing about music nowadays. I think people like because there's so much access to music, like their music tastes are super eclectic. So you can kind of get away with a lot of different stuff, like musically for sure. On tour.
That's actually kind of one of my mantras. I love to write different sounding songs and different genre kind of bending songs.
So you sit down and be like, I'm gonna write a pirate metal song today.
It's
kind of what we did actually for Outlaws. One of our songs. Like Luke and I were in the studio and we're like, dude, let's just like make a western right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think about it like that. I guess I just try to write great melodies and great chord progressions, and then kind of whatever the.
But you don't get like a style or you're
No, not really. No.
Yeah.
But you can kind of make it. I mean,
Style
unless
comes
the-
after a lot.
Yeah.
What's that?
The style comes after a lot of the time. We'll have like the idea, the melody, the chord progression, maybe the lyrics, and then we'll say, why don't we try making this a little more like a driving rock beat? Or let's fall back and make it a little more loose, or so. The style sort of sometimes it's like the last part of the.
Yeah, I mean, some of the greatest songs, the greatest songs can be covered in any genre,
Very true.
So
Yeah.
they do a great dub versions of Country Roads, and they do, so it's
Do you guys know Dylan Wheaton?
No.
Musician. He
Sounds
did,
familiar, yeah.
He did Come On I Leave by Texas Midnight Runner. He did like really slow and melancholy. It's great.
Yeah.
And they retweeted like his post.
Oh, nice.
shit,
Awesome. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. Yeah. So we try to aim for that, for sure. Just kind of have the idea, and then kind of broad brush, and then slowly start targeting particular types of genres or ideas,
Yeah.
and then eventually you have something.
And so now is like COVID's quote unquote over. Like, are you guys looking to tour? Like, what do you guys do?
Yeah, we'll do mostly like just regional stuff throughout the summer. stuff we has booked, some festival hits, some club dates, and then in September we'll do some more touring. Like I think we have some anchor dates in Nashville, so tour down to Nashville and then back up. Just signed with a new management team, and they've been helping out with some of the touring stuff.
And so, is that the fun part of the work part? Like,
Touring is awesome. I love it. I mean, there's definitely times where you're tired, you don't have the stuff at your home that makes you feel comfortable. But to get to travel with your friends, it's the best, and to get to play music, and I love it.
It's bombed up.
Some activity. Sorry.
Ben took a shit and it smells.
It's true.
Who's the road DJ in the van?
Like in the van?
Yeah, usually John.
We kind of mix it up. John does a lot of it.
I drive, so I pick the fucking music.
No, and actually we do a lot of comedy too. Like we'll try to mix it up and get this music, we're doing all the time.
Sometimes you drive for so long, it's just like, let's just listen to fucking Louis C.K. or some shit.
After the show is usually like a heated debate about whatever the hell's going on in the world. Like I think the last time was gun control.
So who are your favorite comics to listen to? Like I'm a huge comic fan. Like moving around comedy shows now.
I go to comedy shows like other people go to live music. So I just saw John Mulaney like a couple of years.
I saw awesome. I took myself to see Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, I've seen Jim Jeffries. Man. He's so funny. Who else? Tom Segura. Great. Trying to think of like someone that's like not as big. But
I'm gonna make a recommendation. She headlined her show last night. It's Janet McNamara.
Oh yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
So fun.
That's my last name. So it's
yeah.
I won't fucking forget that.
There's this guy Stavros something. Stavi baby.
Oh yeah.
I just watched his YouTube. His stand-up comedy special. Yeah, that was really funny.
He's pretty funny. He's got a very particular style. He's really funny.
Yeah.
Mark Normand is one of my favorites too. I don't know if you've heard him. You should look him up.
Yeah.
He's fucking hilarious.
So it seems like there's a lot of cross appreciation between comics and music.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the performance aspect or just kind of the same?
I think it's the expressive aspect.
A little bit of a background of how this happened. So I went to my producer and I was like, hey man, I want to start a podcast about art. And he goes, art, visual, that's stupid. I'm like, cool. And then I saw an interview. It wasn't even an interview. It was a conversation between Louis C.K., Chris Rock,
And Seinfeld. I saw that, yeah.
and Jerry Seinfeld.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what I'm talking to people about, like why they do it, why they're creative.
Right.
So that's kind of how this whole thing came. But it just seems like everyone.
I think it's a very similar.
What's up, man?
Hey,
What's up, man? How are you?
I heard,
this is the owner. We let him do this. You let the owner do that.
He's the owner.
He's the owner of Soundcheck.
I'm just curious to how
Coming in
that's
hot.
going to be like.
So, for those of you who don't know, we're sitting in the green room and we're currently getting violated in our personal space.
But
What was I talking about?
the appreciation between comics and music.
I think there's probably some like we each like envy each other a little bit. Like you see a comic and you're like, damn, they can just go up there with nothing but a microphone and entertain a group of people and have them held there for 45 minutes or whatever. Like, imagine that. And then comics are probably like, look at those guys, man. They don't have to like worry if the joke's gonna hit. They already got the hooks in there and they can just fucking rock it and people are dancing and moving and like,
it's kind of the same too. It's like when you're a stand-up, you're a comic. It's just you're advertising yourself. I mean, it could be a caricature of yourself, but you are basically
the persona.
Yeah, you are the. So if they, if they don't like your performance, they don't like you.
Yeah.
So
that's
very similar.
That's an interesting point. Is like how much of it is a persona? Because even from like a podcasting standpoint, I didn't realize like how much acting is involved. Like, WJs were like. This is not, don't think that's not today. But some days I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk to this guy.
Right.
And you have to be like, hey, what's going on?
I think it's definitely a lot of acting.
I think a lot of it too is, sure, acting in a certain like very direct sense, but it is based on like in the same way that a good movie is like when a good movie is based on a true story.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhat accurate, right? So when you're
So it's almost
living in this persona. It's an extension of who you are, really.
Yeah, like Andrew Dice Clay isn't really like that, I don't think. You think he is? Yeah, maybe.
Bad example, but
No, I'm pretty sure he was like a regular kind of guy, and then he stumbled onto like this persona that he was doing, and that became his entire act.
It's like Larry the Cable Guy is not
Right.
Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah.
He's not actually a cable.
Interesting.
Don't let him near your
Really fucking comic
box.
shit.
No, yeah. I was,
So wait, is he not homophobic?
Yeah, he used to do like a Seinfeld thing, right? Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, I don't know.
Like I've seen some of the early '90s where he like has the pop collar polo and he's doing like trying to do a Seinfeld kind of clean comedy, and it wasn't really working for him.
Well, I'm a lot older than you guys, and I remember Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is super funny. Like now.
Yeah.
Like once he dropped that kind of
Yeah.
like, he fucking kills.
Yeah. Who's the other guy? Kinnison. I feel like he kind of got that from him a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of the same era.
and just to like round the edges off, like, you know, for us, we're very lucky because, you know, we kind of get to be who we are doing what we do. Like, we don't have to really like alternatively promote anything, you know, like if you go to our Instagram, like, you know, a lot of the times we'll do these skits and whatever, and it's literally just based on like an immediate conversation that we have. They're like, what do you got? You know, we'll just talk about random ideas, and it's like not really forced.
Performing where you're like, I really don't want to be here.
Yeah, but if you fake it for like the first 30 seconds of the song, you'll get there.
Looks good on you though.
But I sometimes I've been physically ill when we played.
And I wouldn't even call that.
That'd be the only time.
And I would differentiate too between performing and like playing a persona, right? Like you, even when you're doing great, you still have to show up and perform, right? And it's like even in athletics, like in sports, you know, it doesn't matter, like, you know, your particular condition of the day, like you still have to go out on the court and perform, or on the field and perform. So I think, you know, we're lucky with what we do, where it's like our personas, you know, are just basically ourselves, and then we just go on stage and do what we do, you know.
Yeah, even if you're not feeling it, you just start doing it, and then you'll start.
Yeah, you
know
love
what I mean?
it.
It locks in.
Yeah.
What you said, John?
I just said, what if you don't want to be yourself?
Wow.
Perfect
That's
outlet.
dark.
Then you don't
That's
have to.
a perfect segue into nothing.
That's like a Tool thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or Slipknot. Yeah.
The Gorillas.
Yeah. Or Slipknot is a good.
Oh, we like the
example.
Gorillas. That's another band.
Oh, the Gorillas.
Yeah, the Gorillas is great. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike. So you guys are dads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you too.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on that.
Smart.
We'll get.
He's actually my son.
Yeah, he was a good
Papa.
man. So how has that changed the music for you, or has it changed?
I mean, it probably changes everything in your mind a little bit. Like, you do have some kind of shift, but then I don't think there's been any like distinct change in our music or sound. I think for me, it made it like me just want to make music more to be away from the children. And, it made me realize like how important it was, because you do have to like pare down what you're doing with your life once you're responsible for children.
Yeah.
So if you're like, this is actually something I want to do and spend like a significant amount of my time and energy doing, then I better be like serious about it, because your time is the only thing you can't get more of. You know what I mean? So for me, it made it just the band feel that much more like important and special. But it's like,
it made me want to double down.
That's what I was about to
because,
say. Yeah.
You know, you always hear about those people like, yeah, man, I used to have a band, but then, you know, I had kids. So, you know, I just got a job. I'm like, you fucking pussy.
Like, yeah, what the hell else are you gonna do?
but some guys do.
I was really ramping up there.
Some guys will like, they'll use it as an excuse for shit they don't really want to do. They'll be like, oh, bro, I'd love to go rock climbing, you know me, but like my wife won't let me. The kids like, you don't want to go rock climbing. Like, exactly. Stop it.
Yeah.
Don't throw your family under the bus for that.
And for me, like as an observer of, you know, 3 other parents here, like it's interesting to see that there's almost a certain level of like a new inspiration too, because, you know, you now have this like a creature that you have to nurture and take care of. I think there's a lot of inspiration in that too.
I don't disagree with him though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's inspiration in that.
It's like my kids are like, my dream is to be able to get my company big enough where I can turn to my kids and be like, do you want to go?
Yeah, no, totally.
You can't have one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hire you. I'm not gonna hire you. They don't even listen to me.
I cannot wait to tell my kid to carry some of my shit. It's gonna be my dream. Hey, fucking grab this. And not pay him at all.
Are any of them showing musical interest? I don't even know how old. Obviously, yours is
Tiny, yeah.
She's just learning to like grab things right now. Yeah.
She's not playing it yet.
Just my emotions. Yeah.
My son's almost 2, so he was just playing the drums the other day.
Yeah.
Not well at all, so I made sure to yell at him and make sure that reinforcement is what
Shock collar.
Yeah, tough love.
My older daughter's almost 5, and she's definitely likes music, likes listening to it, mostly like My Little Pony music, and she'll like make up like rhymes and stuff. She's definitely more like into words, lyrics. My 1-year-old, she just dances and smiles, you know?
Yeah.
So they're both, maybe the 1-year-old will be the drummer, the older one will be like the lyricist or something, you know?
It's always interesting to see them grow up. My son got into music, so when I was school, and then he's like, I think I'm going to be a chemistry teacher.
Yeah.
Where do I go wrong?
But all kids like music. Like my daughter goes to a co-op preschool, so you have to go a couple times a year and be like the teacher helper. And I'm noticing like all kids are musicians. There's no differentiate. They all sing, they all dance. All kids are artists. There's no. It's just part of being a human being. Somewhere down the line, we kind of split up. You're like, oh, I'm not a musician. I don't do that. I'm not an artist, but we all are. That's part of it.
Well, I think what happens is that, like, I think over time, you know, people get kind of lose the capability for vulnerability in many ways. Like, that's what this, in my opinion, like distinguishes, you know, artists from non-artists. When you grow up, the kids, they don't understand the difference. They're just like 100% vulnerable all the time. You know, that's just they're kids. There is nothing else to them in the world. So
there's this great book called Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten.
Yeah.
And he talks about how in kindergarten everybody can dance, everybody can sing, everybody can
exactly.
draw.
Right.
Second grade, nobody can.
Yeah, you lose that touch. And some kids, you know, like I know for me, I was also lucky because my parents are in music, so I always had it around me and I had that support. But I think, you know, a lot of kids just kind of like to lose that spark at a certain point with it, and it's natural, it happens.
Yeah.
But you know, I was a kid that like that's all I ever wanted to do. It's like any time, I would like just not hang out with my friends. I would go home, play the drums, go home, play the guitar. Like that's just some people just like that's what they just can't let it go. And here we are still doing it.
So what was that like original spark that like you guys go, oh shit, I want to do that? Like, what was the first thing you heard? You're like, I want to be a musician.
For me, it was
Probably saw. You mentioned Blink-182 earlier. I think we all saw the "What's My Age Again" video. We're like, that looks like the funnest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like, let's do that.
Yeah. For me, it was I'm from Israel originally, like I said, and actually I moved here from Canada, so I was in Canada for a while too. And when I was there, I think I was in like 4th grade. When I moved from Israel, I heard "American Idiot" by Green Day, the album, for the first time, and I like lost my shit. And from that day, I was like, "Mom, I'm getting a drum set. I want a drum set," and I learned the whole thing top down, like shittily. But
And your parents, you said your parents were.
yeah, they're all in music. They were. I mean,
I feel like most parents are like, no, I want to.
no, God bless them. Honestly, like
I started on drums. I played drums for a long time before I played guitar.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with Enema of the State.
Yeah.
I got a shitty drum set. I learned it, you know, really badly because Travis Barker is an awesome drummer.
Yeah.
But that's like, you know, I practiced every fucking day.
Yeah.
You know, our band played in my parents' basement. My parents liked it because they knew we were there and we were somewhere else.
Yeah, they knew you were being.
Eventually, we just stole their beer. You know, when we got to that age,
Yeah.
of like 15.
Yeah, his dad kept fireworks and
Lots of stuff
like
is coming
expensive
out on
wine
this
in the
interview.
closet. Like, what could go wrong?
One time, we took this like $100 bottle of wine, unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
Because it looked the shittiest, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad was so fucking livid. Oh my god. Not because we were drinking, because it was like the
It was the
most
$100
expensive.
there.
It was like hidden in the back, yeah.
Oh god.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a good jam spot.
Yeah.
How about you, Luke? What was that?
Me and my brother used to dance around the house to, my parents had some old vinyl. We put on like The ones I remember first were Bob Seger, and then they had the one Bruce Springsteen, the album with Born in the USA on it.
Yeah.
And I think just that fucking synth riff and that drum beat that kicks off Born in the USA.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think that maybe be like, I think I want to do this. That's
so
cool. Oh, you can wear a bandana too? Like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do when I grow up.
You're not wearing a bandana.
I'm not. I gave up on certain dreams.
So they're getting pretty loud. We're almost in like 40 minutes
Yeah.
now.
Wow.
That went fast.
I'm gonna ask one question that I love to ask people. It's like my favorite bar question to ask.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you mine. But like, what is the concert that you've gone to that you're most ashamed to say you went to? Mine was Yanni.
That's awesome.
So I'm curious if you guys can talk Yanni. Then you got one.
Trying to think the worst. Yeah, it's something I'm not really ashamed to have gone anywhere really, about anything I've done, but like, I definitely seen some terrible acts. Yeah.
But don't call people out for shit. It doesn't.
We played a gig one time in Worcester that was absolute horrible, and I saw some real freaks there. I doubt they're even playing. Hey, I don't know. It's not going anywhere.
God, I don't really regret going to any shows. You know, like I'm trying to think of a weird act I've seen.
The Magician.
Oh God.
This guy, he was all strung out, and he was trying to find opiates for us, and we were like, well, that's kind of weird. And then we were on this variety show on Pawtucket Public Broadcasting, and the guy was insulting the guest who was like the head of the Red Cross. It was right when the Haiti earthquake happened. So he's on there trying to fundraise, and this musician's insulting him for some reason, and the guest. And then he completely blew his big finale.
It was basically like Joe from Arrested Development.
Yeah, it was peak cringe.
So yeah, that was awful.
Shaq.
I mean, it's not one particular artist, but way back, I went to like this Kiss 108 concert that was at Gillette, and they kind of split Gillette in half, and then it's like half the stadium. So you're talking about like, what should have been 30,000 people, and it was kind of like this raggedy concert. Like not a lot of people were there. The artists were kind of like not having a good time. The sound was terrible. So that was kind of like, I thought that I was ashamed. It was just more of like, why did I even do this? Yeah.
I bought tickets to see Everlast years ago, and I liked him at the time, and now looking back, I feel like Everlast is a little cringy, and his set was fucking horrible. I remember sitting there being like, I think I could do it better than he is right now, like these songs. But The Roots, it was a co-headline with The Roots. The Roots were like out of this world. They made up for it. And then flash forward like 10 years later, me and John did an acoustic set opening up for Everlast. And he was such a dickhead.
Oh, really?
Like,
What a
such a
fucking
dick.
asshole.
And I was just like, yeah, you know what? I think I was right to be like,
And if you're listening,
You can email.
yeah. Yeah.
That's the perfect time to do like the promo shits. Like where can people go listen and find out?
Everything just at Crooked Coast. Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
send me mail.
Yeah.
It's all at Crooked Coast. We're easy to find. We're the only Crooked Coast out there. And
Allegedly.
yeah, crookedcoast.com. You get all the links there. We post a lot to our Instagram, if you want to find out about events happening and stuff.
We're influencers,
I think the band actually just finally stopped. So
Yeah.
I told you about that time that I was interviewing them.
Yeah.
And the second I packed up, they stopped. I'm like,
Yeah.
All right.
sounds about right.
Yeah. It's hitched.
Yeah, you should never have them on the
Yeah, we're
podcast.
never gonna have hitch on.
Are you gonna do them right after we go?
No.
Oh.
That guy. Hitch
Really?
isn't allowed on the show.
Dead to me.
I feel like I can't have him on now. It's been such a long time. So.
Right.
But no, I hope you guys have a great show tonight.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
man.
Thanks
Thanks
for coming on, and I wish you all
Thank
That
you.
was
for
our
doing
pleasure.
this.
Thanks for having us. That was a fast 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's right about 40. But,
Okay,
you know.
wow.
Hey,
I spoke too soon.
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah, cool. No, thank you guys so much, and have a great show, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. So thanks again for listening.